Alright guys, so as you see here, I've picked up something else from my collection, and obviously most of you recognize M1 carbines, but this top one here is actually the one that I bought a few weeks ago. I already made a video on it, even a shooting video on, but I just got it here just for comparison because a couple days ago I picked up this other M1 carbine here. Originally I was just going to own one, I thought, but this man contacted me with this one and I got a good deal on it, which I'm going to tell you about, and so I picked it up a couple days ago. So now I have both of these M1 carbines. I'm really excited. As you know, this top one here is my 1944 Underwood, which would date somewhere around January. This one is a Winchester, which I'm really excited about. This one dates to 1942. And what's cool about this one, there's a lot of cool things, is this one is in their first production run, where they started around the 1 million serial number up to around 1,350,000. Well, this one here, I'm going to work on my camera angles and stuff here and see if I can get stuff to pull up for you. Let's see. Take just a second to focus. There we go. So you got Winchester, and then it says trademark underneath, and then serial number 1,053,000 and XX. So this is in the first run. This would date this rifle somewhere around, I would guess, about October, November of 1942. Probably November is kind of where I came up with. But like I said before, these carbines are kind of harder to date as far as the month than the Garands were, but I'm just really excited. This man contacted me and gave me a chance to buy this thing. It's got a lot of awesome things going for it. It has the original barrel that would have been on it, put on it from 1942. Now, these earlier ones, the earlier Winchesters, they didn't date the barrel like you'd see, like on my other one with the Flaming Bomb Ordnance and the month and the last two digits of the year. But see, this one's got a W there on the barrel for Winchester. And then it's also got a W. It's kind of hard to see. And another, it looks like a WP. It's hard to see. I know the focus isn't the best right now, but there it is. It's hard to see, but that's a proof mark on the barrel. But other than that, there's no other markings on the barrel. So it's the original barrel, to the receiver, which is awesome. It does have a lot more different characteristics than this Underwood that I have. One thing you can notice here is the sight compared to the Underwood. The Underwood has the rear aperture sight. This one has the original. It's a flip sight on this Winchester. You see it flips back and forth. That is the original sight on this thing. A lot of them, the M1 carbines were upgraded to the new sight, as the war progressed. Another cool thing about this is it has the push button safety right here. See, got the little round knob type thing. You push it in and out. Whereas, the later war safety, see, you got the little clip type thing. Clip it down or, back and forth for the safety. Another thing about this new one that is different from the other one you see is there's no bayonet lug. Now, the bayonet lug was added, later on in the war. I've heard, late 1944, I'm not sure exactly when, but, later on in the war this was added. Whereas, this one doesn't have it, so, that's another sign of an early carbine. Like I said, this thing is just awesome. The bore is amazing. It was already shiny. I used some Hops number 9 and gun oil patch and everything, and this thing, it'll blind you. It is so bright. When I shine my bore light in there, it's just awesome. It actually came with this, it's an inland magazine, 15-round magazine. It's also here on the stock. Let me flip it back over. It's got the cartouches on here. Let's see if I can get them to pull up there. So you got an S and a G. Saginaw gear, which the G is a little worn, but it's definitely a G. And then you see the other cartouche there also. Then also, I randomly saw this right down in here in the sling, little area for the sling. It's kind of hard to see, but it's got a RSG, which it's kind of worn down in there, which would be Rockola Saginaw gear, which makes this somewhat a very and highly desirable stock on this rifle. It's not a Winchester stock, you know, but that's okay. It's an early stock. The only downfall is, you've probably already seen, is someone has checkered the stock. You can see it, it's up here, it's down below. See, all underneath here and everything, someone's checkered it. Now, the man I bought it from, this is just what he heard could have possibly been so. He had this rifle checked over by a gun store, and they said there's a chance, a small chance, that it could have been done by a soldier in the field. But, you know, one thing I suggest when you buy a gun or a helmet or anything, you know, buy the item itself. Don't just buy the story, because anything can be made up, you know, that, you know, some random well-known soldier could have used this or whatever, you know, and it's just crazy, you know, the stories that get attached with some of these things we buy, you know. So don't buy the story, just buy the item. If something's not right, it smells fishy, you might want to stay away from it. Go with your gut instinct. But I actually got this for $700. I know y'all been waiting for me to tell you how much I paid for it. $700 for this early Winchester M1 Carbine, which I believe is a steal. The stock itself, if it had not been checkered, could have been several $100s just by itself. But, you know, the checkering has killed probably most of the value of the stock, or, you know, definitely a big chunk of it anyways. But, you know, I normally don't like stuff like this, but, I mean, it kind of gives it character, you know, and I'm probably just going to leave it on there, you know. Or if I came into a good Winchester stock for a good price, maybe I would switch it out. But I'm just really excited to be able to added another M1 Carbine to my collection. Now, you know, I can't wait to go shoot this one and see, you know, kind of compare it to, you know, what I was able to do with the Underwood up here, which, you know, when I shot the Underwood, it was very windy that day. Now, you know, I need to get a sling for both rifles. For the Underwood, you know, I got to get a bayonet for it, and then down here I need an oiler for the new Winchester one. But just really excited. I believe $700 was a fair price on this thing. The man said he probably could have got more, like $1,000 or more. You know, that may be, who knows. But this is now my third purchase, as far as gun purchase, I've made already this year in about 6 weeks, which I've somewhat told my wife, you know, I need to kind of slow down, whereas last year I only added two guns to my whole collection all year long, and I've already bought 3 in 6 weeks. So I'm going to have to make sure I do something special for her. Valentine's Day's in a few days, and her birthday's in a couple months. So luckily, she is somewhat of a gun person too. You know, she likes to shoot a little bit, but you know, she doesn't really mind when I buy something. It's usually me going on a guilt trip, you know, well, I bought another this or that, you know, and she usually goes along with whatever, because she knows if I don't buy something when I want it, especially if I know it's a good deal, then I'm going to harass her about it for weeks, that I should have bought it, I should have did this, should have did that. So she's like, whatever, just get it. So my wife's cool. But anyways, like I said, I just want to make this video, and like I said, I just add the other one here for comparison. Deals are out there. You just got to be, you know, right place, right time. I've said that several videos, and you know, I post on Arms List. I used to post stuff on Facebook, I'm sorry, you know, different ads for guns, but with all the stuff going on Facebook right now, I'm not going to post anything about wanted ads. Word of mouth does good. I got business cards, not only for gun stuff, but from a military collection. I picked up some cool things, some new additions this past weekend I'm going to have to make a video on. But anyways, guys, like I said, I just wanted to make this video. Be on the lookout for a shooting video of this .42 Winchester carbine. And if you haven't, please check out the video I made on this .44 Underwood and the shooting video with it as well. But that's really about it. Just wanted to share this with you today. As always, thanks for watching.